You any good at answering quiz questions? Maybe you need to have your eyes tested. I don't know. But what do you see there in the first? Uh, do you see anything there? What? A girl? Did you say a girl? Only one? Okay, that's interesting. It does say, how many do you see? If you see one, that's very good, but I'd say a lot of people spot the two of them. Yeah? Older? As in an elderly lady?
Big nose, yeah.
Well, now. So, what do you think is the purpose of that test? People look at things differently?
Suppose, yeah.
Could be an optical illusion. Okay. I've got lots of tests. You might not have time to do them all, but what do you see there in the MAVS test?
1,000 plus 40, 1,040, 2,040, 2,050, 3,050, 3,090, 3,090, 3,100.
That's very good. That's very perceptive. Do you know that? Are you good at MAVS?
No. Well,
you don't have to be good at MAVS, but a lot of people have got that wrong.
All right.
Like, I've had a mathematician at IT Tralee. He said the answer was 4,000. Two, what do you call them, accountants told me the answer is 4,000, and I should...
Oh, to catch you out, right? Yeah,
oh, yeah, but see, if you were the only person who said 3,100, and everyone else said, no, the answer is 4,000, would that make the majority right?
In their eyes, yeah.
Huh?
In their eyes, yeah.
But are they wrong in your eyes?
Well, yeah.
Are they wrong in no matter whose eyes?
Depends who you ask, it's about perception.
But there has to be some level of truth here. If you went into the shop and said, like, I'd like to get a change of €100 note, and the person says, well, I'll give you whatever I feel is right.
Yeah, well, would you have an argument about that?
Exactly. But they might say, but that's just your, if say you had a €100 note, right?
Yeah.
And you said, I want to change this. Okay, fair enough. I can change it for you, no problem at all. They give you whatever. And then you said, no, I want to be more specific. Would you change this to the equivalent in notes, like I want 520s? But it wouldn't be just whatever you think is right.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm trying to say. And although people have different perceptions and different views, we have to be able to say to somebody, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, there are lots of other tests here, right? Could you be wrong about something?
How do you mean?
Like, say, for example, right? This is a big test here, right? Let's not go for that one. Let's go for the easier one, right? First of all. What do you see written in the three triangles?
We don't know the wording. So, Paris in the spring.
Right.
Bird in the hand. Once in a lifetime.
Now, have you heard those statements before?
Yeah.
That's probably why you didn't read them then. Did you read them? Or did you say, I know that one, I know that one?
I suppose probably, what am I looking for?
Well, you see the first triangle. What does it actually say?
Paris in the, two does, yeah.
The spring.
Yeah, you missed it, right.
So bird in,
yeah.
once in. Now, how would you have missed that?
Was,
because you knew those phrases and let them go.
Yeah.
See?
Right.
Now, one more. You find this fun. What do you read there?
God is nowhere.
It could say that.
Or God is nowhere, or what?
God is now here.
Right. Yeah.
Now, you could have different perceptions on that, okay? Now, the reason why I do all this, I use this as an opportunity to preach the gospel.
Right.
And people go, the gospel. Yeah, I wouldn't be standing here if someone was preaching the gospel to me. But what is the gospel? Could you be wrong about what it is?
How do you mean?
Like, if I said to you, what is the gospel? How do you understand that?
Define it.
That's the Gospels, as in the gospel accounts. But what is the content? Like, they're all four people saying something. What do they actually say? So, what is the meaning of the word gospel? Any ideas at all?
It's got some Latin meaning or something.
It literally means good news.
All right.
So if someone says, I've got some gospel for you, it's the gospel truth. That's what they're basically saying. They're using that phraseology. Right. But what is the gospel then? Have you any idea?
Also good news, like, as in,
of what?
Of God's message, I suppose.
Which would be? It's like
I
getting.
should be thinking back to my religion classes now in school.
Well,
Um,
you may not have heard it. You see, you may have said, "I thought I heard it." Like I've gone over my head, but I didn't actually listen. Is it defined in any way?
Could be wrong here. It's story, metaphorical stories, is it?
Metaphorical stories.
Or they.
Well, it would definitely have something to do with God, right? And about Jesus.
Mm.
And the main focus is what Jesus came to this earth to do.
Right.
What was that? Was it to live a good life and say, see, I can live a good life. You could do better yourselves. And that's about it.
Right, yeah.
You think that's it? That's the message?
That'd be part of it, was?
Well, that's nowhere near it, actually.
Okay.
Because here's the crux of it. Is the word crux actually means cross. Right. The crux of it is Jesus had to come to this earth to die. That was his main objective. He was going to die. And he wasn't just going to die like we all die, right? Yeah. But he was going to take upon him the sins and the judgment of every human being that would ever put their trust in him. And say, instead of them getting the judgment that they deserve from God, he would take the judgment that they deserved. So his purpose was to say, I'm going to go and be your substitute, die in your place, rise from the dead, and whoever puts their trust in Jesus Christ has something happens to him. In other words, two things happen. I'll be really quick, right? Number one, I believe that my sin was transferred to Jesus, so he bore my sin, but at the same time, his goodness is transferred to me. It's an exchange that took place.
Oh, right.
So that on the day of judgment, instead of standing there saying, I hope I've been good enough, like I hear from people all the time, I hope I've been good enough to get into heaven. Well, that's not going to happen. You'll never be good enough. But if you have Jesus Christ's righteousness, then you have the perfect righteousness to get into heaven. Okay? Right. But first of all, your sin needs to be dealt with. Jesus dealt with that.
Look,
Secondly,
I don't mean to be putting across.
Okay, I know. I'm not trying to hold you. I'm not trying to hold you. What's your name?
Jack.
Jack, take that with you. Maybe you can read that.
So nice to meet you.
At least you got some of an idea.
I'll tell you, you a good catch anyway on the street.
Oh, I know. Okay. Hello there. How's it going? Are you going to answer the question? Where are you from?
I'm from Sudan.
Sudan.
Yeah.
Very good. Would you want to stand right there and see if you can answer that question?
Okay.
And if you want to, you can take this when you're in your hand.
Okay.
There's a microphone there, so you can record. Okay. What do you see there?
Fun chest.
What?
Fun chest.
What?
Fun chest.
Fun. I know it's a fun test, but what do you see here?
Okay.
What do you see there?
How many ladies can you see?
How many ladies?
Is there one or is there two?
Yeah.
Okay.
You had good eyesight?
Well, there is obvious one, and the other one is.
Really?
I can argue with that. Yeah.
Why? What do you see? An old or a younger lady?
No, it's a young lady.
Looking off to her right?
Yeah, exactly.
And what? You don't see another lady as well? Maybe you're standing too close. You see, if you see on the young lady's neck, this is her neck, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what's on her neck?
There is a scarf.
Let's say it's somebody's mouth instead. Let's say it's a mouth of another woman.
Okay.
Mouth. Now you see the mouth.
Okay.
Now you see the nose.
Yeah.
Nose.
Yeah. I guess.
See?
It's an old lady. This one is old lady.
Old.
Oh, yeah.
People don't like being called old. But anyway.
Oh, my God.
But anyway, so there's two ladies there.
Yeah.
Now, how's your perception of mathematics? Are you any good at mathematics?
Yeah, not too bad.
Okay, let's see how well you do with that test.
Okay. 1,000 plus 40. 1,000 plus 40. 1,040. 1,000. 2,040. 10. 2,050. 2,004. 2,050. 3,090.
3,090?
4,000.
4,000. Yeah. What's your name?
Mustafa.
Mustafa, you'll have to hold it up a little closer to your mouth, that microphone, because I have to tell you this. 4,000 is the most common wrong answer.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know you might find it hard to believe.
Okay. Let me do it again.
Okay. And I won't distract you.
Okay.
No, there's no distractions.
Okay.
No one's talking while you're talking. Okay? No problem at all.
1,000 plus 40.
You were prisoners of the
Now you can read it out loud. It might help you.
Okay, 1,000 plus 40. That's 1,040.
Mm-hmm.
Now add 1,000. That's 2,040.
Okay.
Add 10. That's 2,050.
Correct.
1,000 more. 3,050.
Correct.
Add 40. 3,090.
Correct.
Now add 10 more.
You were at 3,090,
Yeah,
and you had to only add 10.
yeah,
Is that so hard?
yeah. No, it's 4,000. No, sorry, it's 3,100.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Did you call upon the Lord Jesus Christ then?
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah, because
I'm saying that because
yeah,
you get an interesting response from people when they realize that they're wrong,
yeah,
but they are so convinced that they're right.
yeah, exactly.
Now, what's your name, by the way?
Mustafa.
Mustafa. Mustafa?
Mustafa.
Mustafa, you were convinced that you were right.
I was totally convinced.
So, and I wanted to catch that on camera, you see.
Okay.
Because when people realize they're wrong, they can either go argue that they're right when they're wrong, or they can just say, I made a mistake. But I wouldn't make that mistake every time, right?
Exactly.
So my point of that is to use these things to use that as a stepping stone to share with them the gospel. You know,
Gospel.
the Bible's gospel.
Yeah,
Because you could be wrong about things
Yeah.
when you're convinced that you're right. Okay?
Yeah.
Could you not? Now, are you a religious man at all?
well, I'm not conservative, to be honest.
Huh?
I am not religious man.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's
I
okay.
don't have strong beliefs. I come from Muslim background.
Yes.
I'm a Muslim.
By tradition, or you grew up as a Muslim.
No, I'm Muslim, yeah.
Oh, you
I'm
are
Muslim.
but
Yeah,
a
believer.
practicing Muslim?
Practicing, yeah.
Oh. I thought you said you're not very religious.
Well, actually, practicing, but still not conservative. Like practicing,
Not sincerely.
not in that way.
Well,
You can say like 30% commitment.
okay.
30%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would that pass? Would they call you a Muslim?
Yeah, because as long as you
So how low can you go?
no, but as long as you believe you are Muslim.
But if, say you're 30%. Let's say there's another guy who says I'm 10% Muslim. How low can you go?
Okay, I got your point. Well, believer, you can tell me.
Well, if someone says I believe, I mean, I don't know if you know this or not, but the Bible says something. It says you believe that there's one God. This could be Muslims, Jews, or Christians, right? You believe that there's one God.
Exactly.
The devil believes that.
No, but I believe that there's one Prophet Muhammad as well.
Yeah, but listen. Here's what the Bible says. You say you believe that there's one God.
Yeah.
So does the devil. He believes
No,
that.
No, but the devil believes about God, but doesn't obey him. Right?
But that's what you're doing.
No.
Did you not say?
Yeah. No,
Right?
no, I obey
So
him.
listen.
Yeah.
If someone only believes, and that makes them a Muslim, right?
Yeah.
Well, what do you have to do to be assured of, say, salvation or something like that?
Well, I will tell you something. Being a religious man is something on a spectrum. Like me and you, all the people are not same.
Oh yes, I know that.
So even to be a practicing, even that's something on a spectrum. People practice. So there are some people practice more than the others. Some people practice.
Right.
But if you don't practice, that doesn't deny the fact that you are a religious man.
Who makes these rules?
I think, according to me, I think that's what I'm inclined to.
Well, listen.
Yeah.
Did you know that in the New Testament, Jesus said, "If anyone desires to be my disciple,"
Yeah.
he didn't say, "Do it your way." He says, "You must deny yourself,
Yeah.
take up your cross, and follow me."
Okay.
Okay. Also, another place he says, "Anyone who puts his hand to the plow and turns back is not fit for the kingdom of heaven." When we use the terms of poker, you ever played poker before?
No, I haven't.
As a
played.
Muslim, you wouldn't play
No,
such
no.
things. Even 30% Muslim.
No, I would play not. No.
Okay, but in poker terms, people say, "I'm all in." You know, I'm committed to this. When they believe something wholeheartedly, they say, "I'm 100% follower. I'm all in." That's the way God wants it. In fact, in the Old Testament to the Jewish people, he says, you are to love the Lord your God with all of your heart, all of your soul, all of your mind, and all of your strength. None of this half-hearted stuff. He will not accept that. Because it's like saying, oh, I give God the leftovers.
Yeah.
I mean, even as a Muslim, you should be saying, if I believe this, I should be 100%.
Okay, let me ask you a question. If you decide, if you know you can say that you're a religious man. Let's say that you have been to the college of theology and you have done an examination.
Yeah.
And that was your desire to go to the college of theology to study the religion. And let's say you have done examination, you didn't score, you scored 70% in the knowledge.
Yeah.
That means that you didn't want it at the first place.
No. That's what you're talking about is effort.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what I'm
if a
talking
person
about.
is saying, I'm giving it my best effort.
Yeah.
And we're human and we're sinners, right?
Now, do they have any gift for?
There's your gift right there. You see, I suppose as a Muslim, you wouldn't have read the Bible before.
No, I've come across it.
Okay, come across it. I've come across a Quran, but I have a Quran and I read it because I check. I want to check to see what it says. Okay.
Yeah.
So I read 10 surahs so far. I'm up as far as Jonah, which is the 10th surah, and I stopped there because I have other things to do. But you should study the Bible because there you would have a comprehension of, oh, well, I have a Quran and this is what it says, but I should read the Bible to see what it says.
But to be honest, I like the Bible. I have learned many things about Bible, many facts about Bible.
Okay.
I love the fact that Christianity is just a religion of peace.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. And this is something really
it sounds like that is true. But in fact, did you know that Jesus said in the New Testament, do not think that I came to bring peace upon the earth. I came to bring a sword. Did you know that? No, because he said, it's not a literal sword as in like this, but he says it will be a kind of sword that will divide people. Even mothers and fathers will be against their children because they follow Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Households will be divided because somebody says, I want to follow Jesus. If you follow Jesus Christ, you're not going to be part of this family. Say, for example, you're a Muslim, right? Yeah. And all of a sudden you had a revelation that Jesus Christ is God himself and that we should follow him. What would your family do to you? They might say to you, if that's the case, you're no longer part of this family. Yeah, that's how it happens in some countries.
Well, it wouldn't be that necessarily this way, but they would be disappointed at you sometimes.
I'm sure they would, but there are countries where it would be absolutely legal to convert to another religion, you know? So therefore there's a lot of pressure. I mean, I've been confronted with the beliefs of the Islamists and with Muslims, and I do not believe that Muhammad is a true prophet. Okay? Now, the reason is not just because I am a Christian. It's because I read what I read about him, and I think at the bottom line, do you know what I believe? No, it's just between you and me, okay?
I get your point,
I believe he's simply a warlord who was using religion to forward his cause. That's all. Well, and he claims to be a prophet. That's all.
Well, actually, I disagree with you on this because all of them like are the same. The prophets, Jesus, Moses.
Are they all murderers?
Well, they're kind of if you think about it.
Let me ask you, how many battles was Muhammad involved in?
Battles. Real battles.
Yes, fighting with people.
Yeah, and about 9 or 10.
So how many was Jesus involved in where he was killing people?
Well, actually, I'm not. Well.
0.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a huge difference.
Yeah.
How many prophets do you read about in the Old Testament who were going around slaughtering people?
No, but listen. If you are engaged you guys Irish people are engaged in the war in English, that means that they are slaughtering people.
English people?
Yeah.
Well, there's war. It's obviously you have.
That's what war. That's the Arabic people.
Yes.
That's the nature of the Arabic people at that time.
But
you then defend yourself.
But if you talk about holy war,
right? It's not a holy war.
Muhammad didn't do that. He came in and he wiped out towns and people. He wiped them out. There's no question about it.
Well, actually, I would argue with you.
Okay.
I would argue with you.
But you believe he's a true prophet?
I believe he received the revelation.
Well, what revelation was that?
That's just like the one of Jesus and one of Moses.
Well, what revelation? What revelation are you referring to? At the cave? At the cave?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what he said when he had that revelation?
Yeah.
He said he wasn't sure whether it was God or a devil.
No. But
yes.
Yeah, but.
And who did he ask for help? He went to his wife's uncle, who was Warak even awful, right? And said, tell me, where's this revelation come from? And he said, it came from Gabriel.
Yeah.
But how does he know that? How does he know that? It's only taking his word for it.
Okay, and I'll tell you something. Jesus said that he's the Son of God. Do you believe that?
He is, well, if he says he's the Son of God, that's not a big deal.
No, it's a big deal for me.
Well, aren't you?
Because you said when Muhammad said he wasn't sure that devil or not, you at with the same sense, I would argue like, did you see the God in the first place, or someone come over and claim that he's his son?
Well, you're talking about two different things. Let me just address one thing. Adam, the first creation of God, is called the Son of God. Now, did God have sex? No.
No,
but he is able to call him a son. Can a person adopt another person and have no physical relation, but adopt them into their family and call them a son?
Okay, listen, I will argue with you in this, but at the end of the day, I'm a very peaceful man, by the way. I'm not peaceful.
Oh, sure you are.
I like what you are saying from philosophy point of view more than believer. You are could be conservative Christian.
Okay, but I only something I would like to leave with you to think about. You've got the Gospel of John here.
Yeah.
You see, the thing is, one day you're going to face death and the judgment of God. The question is, are you prepared and ready for that?
Is that a part of Bible here?
Yes.
Written here? I'd be interested in reading that.
So when you have the Bible, you've got 4 Gospels, which are basically 4 accounts.
Yeah,
like, let's say you have 4 people saw an accident.
I know, Lucas and Marcus.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John,
Yeah, I know that.
But they're all pointing in the same direction, speaking about the most important thing, that Jesus Christ took our sin upon himself and was judged as if he was the sinner and took our place so that we could be justified in the eyes of God.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
When the Orthodox and Catholic they've been fighting each other, when the Orthodox and when the Protestant and Catholic fought each other, does that have something to do with the message of Jesus?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't have at all.
No, it doesn't.
So
you know why? You know why?
Yeah.
Because people fight over things, and it's showing you that it's not the true nature of the person who is a true Christian wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do it. But a lot of those people, Michael, and
Mustafa.
Mustafa.
You know what's the meaning of Mustafa? I know Michael.
What does Michael mean?
Michael is one of the, Gabriel. Yeah.
Angels.
Angels. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, it's actually the word Michael means who is like God, which is a question. Who is like God? There's none like God, right? Yeah. Mustafa, I don't know what it means.
It's called one of the angels, God angels.
One of the angels is called Michael. Yes, but you said what it means. It means who is like God, because the word Mikael, El is God, right? Mikael,
like God,
who is like God. Whereas Mustafa means what?
Mustafa means the chosen one, which is one of the alternatives.
Maybe you are chosen one.
No. It's one of the Prophet Muhammad that means.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so well, you read that and tell me how you get on next time. Okay. All right. Well, if I was to ask you what is the world's most best-selling book, what is it? Have a guess. There's an Easton's book over there, and something to do with that. But what do you think is the world's best-selling book? Yep. And the second question: what is the world's most shoplifted book? The Bible. And the most stolen book from hotels. Yeah. Why do you think that is? Can't they buy one or something, or download a free copy? Or is it because people don't want to be seen doing that? I'll read it secretly or whatever. There's a lot of people who are secretly reading the Bible, or people who haven't read any of it and they already assume that they know what it says. And they've judged the book by its cover. What about yourself? Can you see these 2 signs? Maybe you can have a closer look. What do you see there? Let me come over here and you're pointing in direction, right? There, what do you see? And what is your perception of that?
You can see a lady.
A lady, all right, okay. Young or old?
Young.
Okay. And that's all you see?
Oh, I see the old one there.
Right, the elderly one. Right. We're not supposed to say old anymore, apparently. Okay. What about Mavs? Any good at Mavs?
A little bit.
How about that question? Do you think you can answer it? Read out loud, and it'll help you, okay?
1,000 plus 40. Add another 1,000. Uh, 3,100.
That is perfect. Now, not a lot of people get that answer right. One more question. You're not rushing off, are you?
No.
Okay. One more question, which I think you might. Well, are you English originally? Yeah. Okay. This doesn't work on Spanish speakers, but let's say you were to read that. What does it say in the three triangles?
Paris in the spring, bird in the hand, once in a lifetime.
Like I said before to somebody else earlier, you obviously know those statements so well that you didn't even bother reading them. Is that right?
I didn't actually know any of them.
You've never heard it before? You've never heard someone say Paris in the spring, bird in the hand is worth two in the bush?
The last one.
Oh, once in a lifetime? Well, you see, the reason why I say is because a lot of people, they don't actually read what it said. What does it actually say?
Paris in the spring, bird in the hand, once in a lifetime.
Well, you said it the first time you were wrong, and you said it now the second time you were wrong. It says Paris in the spring.
Oh, I didn't see. Yeah.
Bird in the hand, once in a lifetime. See how you can get it wrong? Okay, for final test. Now we have 6, but I'm only going to go through a few of them because you don't want to be here all day. Okay. Well, what do you see here in this sentence? What do you see there?
God is Noah.
Is that what it says?
Or God is now.
Aha, it could be one or the other, right? Now, do you like answering questions along the lines of beliefs and things like that?
I'm not a religious man.
That's perfect. Perfect. Take this little microphone. I want to hear what you have to say because this is very important. Okay. Now, I got 3 questions. Are you ready for them?
Yeah.
Number 1. What's your name?
David.
You got that right. Okay, I hope. Okay, David. Is there a God?
I believe there's something.
Now, you said you're not religious, but you believe there's something. That makes it kind of like, what is that? Like, are you saying there's some intelligent being?
I feel like everything happens for some reason,
right?
But it's hard to tell what the reasons are.
Okay. When I say God, a lot of people might say that they believe in a God, but then we press them on by God. What do you mean? Because for all I know, you could be saying, oh yes, me, I'm God, or the tree I worship in my garden is God. So what do you mean when you say God?
I just think not even someone, just something looking and caring for everything and everyone.
Something without personality?
Yeah.
Okay, hard to imagine that one. No, okay, that's fine. I get what you're saying, but there's someone or something who seems to be caring and look after things. Okay, second question. What did you say your name was?
David.
David. Do you have a soul?
I'd like to believe so.
What is it?
I'd like to say passionate and young, kind of free.
So a soul of a person is that which is passionate and young? Or just in your case?
In my case, I feel like people's souls are what they feel they are deep inside.
So it's a part of you that you are deep inside. Okay. Is it material or immaterial?
I guess it can be both, depending on who you ask.
Okay. And do you suppose that it ceases to exist or lives on after you die?
I'd like to believe that it goes somewhere when you die.
Okay. Third question. What do you think happens to you when you die? What do you suppose will happen to you?
Hard to say. I think my soul will just leave and find somewhere else, find something else.
Well, certainly if your body dies, it's going to be dissolved. But the soul, if it is an immaterial thing, would leave the body. But what is it? I mean, is there going to be anything after this life?
I feel like once you die, your past life is this life is gone, but you could find another.
Hello.
You start again.
No. No, we're no.
Can I do it?
Later. So the fact of the matter is that since, as you were saying, like there's something that cares, would it cease to care once you're dead?
I don't think it would.
All right. So you've got, like, let's say, if someone was to explain something, they'd say there's a lot of holes, or the dots aren't exactly connecting. Okay, and I might be able to fill in some of those blanks for you, right? So the Bible describes a God who is personal and eternal and created all things, including man, in his own image and likeness. Number two, we have a soul which will live on after we die. It is us. It is an immaterial part of us. And thirdly, we're told that it is appointed unto men that die once. And then after this, there's a judgment. Now the question is, how would we do in a judgment? It all depends on who's the judge and what standards the judge uses and what is he judging us for. But if we said, for example, that, like in my personal testimony, I wasn't looking for God. I wasn't religious, just like yourself. But when I was 17-year-old, I was drunk. And I was coming out of a pub drunk, and I didn't know where I was going. But when I finally crawled home and looked up at the sky at night, I thought, what if there's a God? And what if I'd have died in someone's garden tonight? This was the beginning of something for me. Like, okay, I need to really seriously think about that. Because what I've been told in my religious background would have been, God is holy. He don't tolerate sin, which is when we do things we know are wrong and which everyone else knows are wrong, sinful things, right? Therefore, on the basis of that, I can say, okay, if I was to face God as things are, if I was to face God today, I'm doomed. And if what they're saying is true and there's a judgment, then I'm facing the judgment of God. I have no hope, right? So where does that leave me? In a hopeless situation. However, I also heard some good news that God, knowing our situation, came into this world as a man, lived a perfect life on this earth without sin himself, and his name is Jesus Christ. And yet, he said, I'm going to lay my life down for believers. I'll take the sin that they had on their lives. Let's say you had a weight of sin that you were going to be judged for. Put that on Jesus. Let him take it all, and he takes it all as if he was carrying it to the cross. And on the cross, he was crucified, and not only did he die, but he suffered under the wrath of God as though he was the one who was sinner. He was saying, I'm your substitute. I'm bearing your sin. Now, then he dies and rises again on the third day. But what he offers is this. All of his goodness, perfect standard of living a perfect life, I give to you. Right? And then all your sin was on him. So there's an exchange took place. Therefore, when you stand before God on Judgment Day, instead of saying, have I done enough? Am I good enough? What about all the sin in my life? God can say, I see perfect righteousness because you have Jesus Christ's righteousness applied to your account. Like, do you have a bank account?
I do, yeah.
Okay. Supposing you said, well, I don't have a lot of money in that account. I'm a student or whatever you are, right? Right?
Yeah.
Are you a student?
I'm a student.
Right. But if on someday you look at your account and you suddenly go, well, there's a mistake here. I mean, there's like 10,000 euro here. Where'd that come from? Someone has put it into my account, right? Well, you might think, well, I better do something quickly, right? Now, here's what's happened. With those who are believers, Christ has put his perfect righteousness into the lives of believers so that they don't have to stand before God Judgment Day worried about how they're going to do. Okay? Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
So I don't know if you've ever considered those things. Don't want to take all your day. See, you've got your friends waiting for you perhaps. But listen, take one of these with you, right? And then maybe you can read it, okay? And check out the YouTube channel, okay? Living Rock Church Killarney. And you might see some interviews that I do with people and see how we get on. It's the same people like yourself. We're not religious looking for, it's people who are non-religious, that God is the one who reaches out to those people and brings them to himself. Okay, so don't be thinking there's a stereotype. All the religious people, they'll be drawn to that. No, it'll be the people who are not even interested. God says, "Come here, you." Okay, David, thanks for your time, and God bless you. Any good at answering questions? Are you any good at answering questions?
Yeah, we are, yeah.
Right. Where are you all from? Tralee?
Tralee.
Okay. He's maybe camera shy. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he's camera shy, yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyone microphone shy?
No, take
Okay. All right. Don't hold it too close.
Hello, hello.
It's not like this. It's just for.
All right, this is grand, yeah.
So you can stick it to your chest.
This is me sticking my chest, voila.
Oh, you can pin it there somehow.
I'll hold it, yeah.
Okay. So what do you read there in the first three triangles?
Paris in the spring, bird in the hand, once in a lifetime.
Not bad, but you need to read that again because you got it wrong completely.
I think Paris in the spring, bird in the hand, once in a
Okay.
lifetime.
What's your first name?
Peter.
Peter. Have you ever heard those phrases before?
No.
Never heard.
Once in a
before?
lifetime. I heard that
Okay,
one.
you've heard it once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's sometimes because we have heard these phrases that we don't bother reading them. So why didn't you read it properly? I don't know. Let's see. Are you sure you read it right?
Read out loud the word in the three triangles.
Mhm.
Paris in the spring, Paris in the spring.
Okay,
The
what about the
bird
next
in
one?
the hand,
Yeah.
once in a lifetime.
Okay, so you failed in that one, but that's okay.
Yeah,
How about
right.
this one? What do you see there?
How many ladies can you see? Is there two or is there
Is there two or three?
is there one or is there boys?
two.
There's
You flip it upside down, it's old one. I saw
Flip?
this on TikTok, yeah.
Flip? You don't need to flip anything.
no, but that's only one, Michael.
You see a young lady, do you?
Yeah, one young lady with a feather.
A feather on her cap.
Yeah,
Yeah. And what she got on her neck?
on her neck. It's like a little bracelet, is it?
Bracelet?
A
on her neck?
necklace. That's a bracelet, no?
I suppose it wasn't a necklace. Supposing it was someone else's mouth.
Someone's mouth.
Hmm.
I told you, no lady. Fucking hell.
See that?
It's no lady.
A mouth there, right?
I called it.
A nose here, and the two eyes.
It's no lady.
You don't have to do flip belt. You know, act that.
I can't see it.
So I was right, so.
Yeah. Okay, one more.
Alright, okay.
Let's see how you get on with this one.
Okay.
What do you read there?
God is nowhere.
You sure?
Yeah.
You got something wrong before by misreading it, but maybe you want to try again.
God is nowhere, no?
Jump now, this is a trick one.
What's it say?
It says God is nowhere, but.
Could it not say God is now here?
God is now here. You could say that, yeah?
So there you go. There's some people read things differently than others. Here's another one. This is more of a riddle, right? You'll have to stand back a bit for this one because you might misread
Sorry.
it. Okay. Now, can you tell me the answer to that question?
What is greater than God, worse than the devil? The dead eat it, and if the living eat it, they die.
Hmm.
What is greater than God, the worst evil?
What could that possibly be?
Worse than the devil. The dead eat it. The living eat it, they die.
I don't know, flesh.
What?
No, what's me?
Flesh? Flesh?
The dead eat it, Wicken.
Yeah, zombies.
No, man.
They wouldn't be exactly dead.
What's greater than God? Can you give us a hint?
Yeah, there's nothing comes to mind.
No. Nothing. Nothing.
I did give you the hint, and that was very cryptic, okay? So, maybe you agree, maybe you disagree, but I've got some further questions which I'd love to hear your opinions on, okay?
Yeah, that's
Are you ready for it?
Well, yeah.
Now, you have to bear in mind, this could be children listening, so what's your language, okay?
Michael. Oh, me.
Okay, so number one, do you believe that there is a God?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and by that, what do you mean? Just to be more in the ballpark of what do you mean?
In my opinion, I believe that there is heaven and hell, and with God, like, I don't know how to explain it.
But it's not really believing, we're just raised up to that, like.
I know, but let's say someone says, "Oh, I believe in God, all right," and there it is. That's my God. That tree there.
Yeah.
Or I believe
So,
in
man.
my God is my mirror of myself at home. What is God exactly?
God is a spiritual journey.
A journey, not a person.
He's a person, but he can be anything. God could be.
God could be a dog.
God could be. Yeah.
So it could be anything. That's what you think.
Yeah.
Okay.
God is everywhere and anywhere.
Okay. So the second question is, do you have a soul?
Yes.
I hope so, anyways.
And what is that then?
A soul is something
It's like a spirit or something, is it?
Like a spirit?
Yeah.
It's another way of saying spirit, maybe.
like if we passed away right now, our soul would fly up or fly down.
So it's an immaterial part of you, which could be referred to as spirit or soul, but it's not physical.
Yeah.
It goes somewhere when you die. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Let's say.
Okay. Third
You agree?
question. Third question. This is the big one. Okay. where do you think you're going when you die? If today was your day,
Upstairs.
upstairs.
I think I'm going upstairs.
Now, I mean, you hear 99% of people saying that, right?
Yeah.
You get Muslims, perhaps, who are jihadists even, who said, oh, I just blow everybody up and I'm straight to heaven,
Yeah.
right? So they believe that. There's also Christians who say similar type of things, that, oh, I'm such a good person, I'm going straight to heaven. But what makes you think that you're going straight? You did say something earlier on. I do believe I heard the words heaven and hell.
Yeah.
So why would it not be hell?
In my opinion, where I'm going.
Yeah.
Because
I hope it's not hell anyways.
no, because I've done a lot of good. I've done more good than bad. Like.
Okay, so is it a matter, do you think, of weighing things up and saying, if you've done enough, how do you know where you're at right now, though?
Because I think as long as you, like, I don't know how to explain it now.
Let's say, for example, you were told on the final day of judgment, what's your name?
Peter.
Peter. If only you'd have done one more thing, but you've been shortchanged here, you didn't meet the mark. I'm sorry, but had you have helped one more old lady across the road, it would have tipped the scales in your favor. Is this what you think it's all about?
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's if you say ask for forgiveness.
Okay.
For the sins.
And who would you be asking this forgiveness of?
You'd
Because
ask-
earlier on you said God could be anything.
Yeah. It's just something in your mind, like before you go to bed, when you wake up, you pray.
Who are you talking to, though?
Talking to God.
But God could be anything, right?
Yeah, but like eyes closed, hands like this, and then just think, like, you know. Some people say it out loud. I say it in
And
my
do
head.
you have to feel that you're forgiven yourself, or are you actually forgiven
No, I'm asking for forgiveness
from a specific person?
from God. Yeah.
That's why I asked the first question about God first, because if it's just a out there,
Yeah.
how do I know that this thing has actually forgiven me?
We don't know.
Well, that's what you say, right?
To find out when we die, like.
Well, wouldn't it be a bit late to find out? Oh well, find out I'm wrong. Got that wrong.
Yeah, but nobody knows if it's right or wrong. We just believe what we
Okay,
believe.
how do you know that nobody knows?
Because if somebody know, they would say it, like, you know.
Well, maybe they did.
Yeah, it did. Didn't they? Probably died, and then.
Okay, have you ever come across the gospel before?
Yeah.
The preachers of the gospel, Jesus Christ, his disciples, do you think they went around saying, well, we don't know. I mean, we're just hoping for the best. We might, we may not get to heaven. We just don't know. Or did they have a more positive message where they came and preached the good news? Do you think they had a more positive message than,
I think,
hey,
yeah.
just hope for the best, man?
No, I think that was a more. Man is liking me. I think that was a more positive. I think because like I've never read a Bible now.
Oh, well,
it's
there you
like
go.
maybe. There we go. Look.
That's not
You
the
want
Bible.
the-
That's not the Bible. That is a portion of the Bible. It's John's
Gospel
gospel.
of John.
Now, did you know, for example, this guy John was the closest disciple of Jesus, right?
Yeah.
And he says, I have written these things that you may know that you have eternal life. He didn't say, we write these things in the hope that maybe,
Yeah.
doubt it, but you sure, who knows? He said, I have written these things that you may know that you have eternal life. They were so positive about it that they were willing to lay down their lives for what they believed.
Yeah.
You know, hey, I'm willing to die for what I believe, right?
Same here.
But there's so many holes in your view of things. It sounds like you need to fill in the blanks, a lot of blanks.
But see, there's blanks that can never be filled in my eyes, anyway.
But for example, you haven't read this Bible, right?
You know. Yeah.
If you were to read the Bible, it would fill in some of those blanks.
Yeah.
It says things like this: "It is appointed unto men to die once, and then after this there's a judgment." We're going to face the judgment, and if you think that you can do good enough to pass the pass mark,
Yeah.
then you're trusting in yourself rather than trusting in Jesus Christ, right?
Yeah. True.
Now here's the deal. I'm going to finish with this, right?
Okay.
Supposing you were doing an exam and they said, if you pass, great, but if you fail, you're going to get kicked out, right? You're not going to go on
Yeah.
to further education, whatever it is. And you said, well, it would be nice to know what the pass mark is, right?
Yeah.
There's no point in saying, well, I can't really aim for something if I don't know what it is. Well, let's say the pass mark for heaven, for eternal life, which you mentioned you'd like to partake of,
Yeah. Hopefully.
is 100% perfection. Okay?
Yeah.
That leaves you, me, every one of us totally without a hope.
Yeah.
Because we're not perfect. Okay? So there is some good news. however,
Yeah.
and that is that if we stop trying to trust in our own efforts, but trust in what Jesus Christ did, that changes everything. Because what he did is he came as God in the flesh, lived in this world as a man, never sinned, never broke any of God's laws, yet he was treated like he was the one who was guilty, and he was taking my place, right?
Yeah.
He was dying in my place, and he was giving me his perfection, so that when I stand before God on Judgment Day, I don't say, hey, look, have I done enough? I go, thank you, Jesus did enough.
Yeah.
He did everything I needed. So a Christian is someone who says, I put my trust in Jesus Christ. You ever heard the poker statement, I'm all in?
All in, yeah.
Well, that's a person who says, all my trust, everything is in Jesus Christ. I don't trust in myself, because that's religion. Religious people are trusting in how good I've done, have I done enough, have my good outweighed my bad.
Yeah.
But a person who's a Christian said, I'm trusting what Jesus Christ has done, that he's done everything, and I therefore put my trust in him completely. And if I die, when I die, I don't have to worry about facing the judgment of God.
Yeah.
But you do, if you're not trusting in him at this moment in time.
I trust in him. Do you trust in him? I suppose.
Well, when you say you're trusting him, it's like saying, I mean, I use this quick illustration, right? I don't take all your time. There was a well-known tightrope walker who used to be able to walk over the Niagara Falls on a very, one of them wires. He could stand there, dance around a bit. He could even wheel a wheelbarrow across, no problem at all. But one day he said to the crowds who were watching him, how many of you believe that I could take someone by piggyback across the Niagara Falls? Well, everyone's hand went up. And he says, okay, so who's going to be first?
Everyone's hand went down.
Why would they do that? They said they believed.
They wouldn't risk their life in the hands of...
So is there a difference between believing and actually putting your trust in the person? See, Jesus didn't say, just believe me that I exist. He said, would you believe me and put your trust in me, that what I've done and everything I did for you on the cross is enough to make you right before God? That's a big difference, because at this moment in time, you can say, I believe in a person called Jesus, or I believe that there's a God. Meaningless. Okay? Even the Bible says this, the devil believes that there's a God. Where's that getting him? The devil knows there's a God. He believes it. He knows it. You got to go beyond just natural belief and just saying, I believe. Right?
It's true, yeah. There's a lot of knowledge for one person.
You got to say, okay, let's say Jesus was saying to you, Peter?
Yeah, Peter.
There was a Peter in the Bible, was there not?
There was, yeah.
Right? And he was in a boat in a storm, and Jesus came walking on the water. Didn't walk on water every day, but on this occasion he did.
Yeah.
Right? And Peter saw him and says, Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water. Jesus said, come. What did Peter do? No one else that we know of did this, but Peter got out of the boat and he walked to Jesus. And then he looked around him and he thought to himself, what on earth? It's stormy, it's wet. What am I doing here?
Yeah.
And you know what he began? He began to sink like a stone.
Because he didn't believe.
Oh, he began to look at his circumstances. Yeah. And then Jesus did what? As Peter cried out, Lord, help me. Jesus said, I got you. Imagine someone on water saying, I got you. Don't you worry, I'll pull you up on the solid water.
I would believe it, would you?
I mean, it's phenomenal. But the whole idea is, are you putting your trust in him? Oh, I believe it's you, Jesus. Okay, you believe it? Come out to me in the water.
I'd walk.
And the other disciples didn't get out of the boat, but neither did he say to them, come to me. He only said to Peter, Peter, come to me.
Yeah.
There you go. So, all I'm saying to you guys, what's your name?
Michael.
Michael, I'm Michael as well. You know what it means? The name Michael means who is like God. Okay?
Michael is.
No.
Look on his neck, look.
No.
Loves him.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say this. You got to go beyond just belief.
Yeah.
Into trusting in Jesus Christ. I became a Christian when I was 17 years of age. I wasn't religious. I'm not the religious sort. A lot of people aren't, and they think that certain people are religious, they'd be into that sort of thing now. But it's not. It's God comes reaching after people who are not even looking for him.
Yeah.
That's what happens. So there you go. I encourage you to read that And when you come to the point where it says to you, okay, what am I going to do with this? Just believe it or actually act. It's time to act.
I think that's enough for us, like, innit?
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And if you're interested in watching YouTube videos of things like this, you might see this on our YouTube channel.
What's this account called?
Well, it's called Living Rock Church Killarney.
Living Rock Church.
You can look it up. You can look it up yourself.
Well, yeah,
Okay. All right. Thank you.